Hello, I'm Dr. Paul, and this is my beautiful wife, Lynn. And today we are here to talk about some of the products that we have made, developed for pets to take care of our furry friends in a healthy manner so that they're not exposed to any kind of drugs that may harm them. Go ahead.
So we have several items for you for your pets. And one of the things we were thinking about is what happens if there's a shortage of supplies, if there's an interruption in the instant delivery system that's set up around our country. You know, when in earlier times there were warehouses, and everything went to the warehouse, and then the warehouse did the distribution out to smaller businesses, and that was the source of where you got things. Well, now everything comes in by the instant delivery trucking system. Now, if you had flooding like we've seen in some parts of the country, and then you don't have that instant delivery system, anything can happen that might interrupt the flow of what we take for granted in having at our fingertips all the time. So we came up with an idea of what if there was an interruption in that delivery and we didn't have pet food. So we made a GANS, Paul made a GANS, which is gas in the atomic nano solid state, of cat food. And then we don't have a dog where we live, but we have a friend who has a dog who put together a lot of the different things, very special things that her dog gets as the dog food, okay? And so Paul made a GANS of both of those. Now, our pets probably are not going to appreciate looking at a bowl of water and we're telling them it's dinner time. But if you're in a situation that there isn't anything to put in the bowl, then you're going to be able to provide your pet with the energy, the plasma energy of the solid food that would have been in the bowl. So we have the dog food GANS here. And a lot of these GANS come down into a very fine powder in the bottom that's also distributed really throughout. You can see as Paul's shaking that the cloudiness from the GANS at the bottom of the dog food jar.
That's the dog food, and this one is cat food.
Now we also have some other things that we've put together for our pets, and
this one is parasite.
okay, so that's for parasites. And you know, there, especially in the summer, a lot of you are giving a lot of different products to your pets for various parasites. And then we have another one that is that's for pet skin, and this is for animals that may have they're doing a lot of scratching, they may have hot spots. We had someone who had a dog that had had hot spots for 10 years, and Paul, they're pretty tough to treat, aren't they?
Yes, hot spots are really a big problem because they're caused by constant licking, and it gets to be a habit. And then as the dog licks it and it starts to dry, it becomes irritated and it itches, and they lick it more. And the more they lick it, the more it itches, and the more they lick it. So it's a self-perpetuating problem. And with this spray, it relieves it enough that they quit licking it, and they heal up. And that's pretty amazing, because as a veterinarian in the past, I have tried lots of different things for healing up hot spots and granulomas, and they're very, very difficult, challenging to heal up, because even if you bandage them, the dog chews off the bandage to get at it. So it's a difficult problem, but this definitely helps.
Well, and there's different ways that you can use that. First of all, you can get a vial of it and put that in a container, and that's going to be part of the drinking water for your dog or your cat. And in the wintertime, or I'm sorry, in the good weather times, this is what we send for the vials that you're going to place in a larger jar of good spring water, good well water, filtered water, or distilled water. In the wintertime, we're going to send you even more. And this is coming in a BPA-free plastic vial because they don't break. And once our temperatures drop below 30 degrees Fahrenheit, these guys have a tendency to crack and freeze because they're not going from warm door to warm door in the delivery process. So we know that these arrive securely. And then if you're out of the country, this is how I will send them, but also this is how you can make them for other family or friends. I take paper towels, and I take a good quality paper towel that's got some body to it, and I take them and spray them completely with what I'm going to use. So this says pet skin on it, and as you can see, there's a vial in it that has changed the water. I soak these completely and I hang them up to dry on hangers. Once they're dry, they get folded, and I have a batch of things here that are ready to process, and they're going to go on either side of a jar of water that you set up. Now when these come to you, they're going to be covered in plastic and also surrounded with plastic tape. And you know, if they get a little worn, you can just put them in another plastic bag. And honestly, these are the bags I like to use. I just cut off the zipper, and then I can fit everything inside and fold it over and tape it so it's completely waterproof. Now you'll see some things on the internet where people like to use wet paper towels and things like that. We don't do that because what we have found is this is an effective way to do it. They're completely dried before we seal them up, and they're never going to get mold. So the longevity on these is much greater when they're completely dry and go into the sealed bags. So this is the way I send them out of the country, and this is the way you can make it for family and friends. But you can also, if you want to get some of these little vials or some of this size of vial, you can find these on the internet. I know these are on Amazon, and just look around for 2-dram glass vials with screw cap lids. Paul, we have another one, fenbendazole, and I'll let you talk about that, but when you're listening to Paul, I want you to be careful to listen to what he says, because the pet cancer rates are skyrocketing. And I have a friend who had 3 golden retrievers. They all died within the last year, close to the age between 7 and 9 years old, and Goldens used to live, when you were early years of practice, like 15 years?
About 15, yeah. That was about max. So this is a study that I came upon, and this is from cancertreatmentsresearch.com/fenbendazole. Now, what these researchers did was they were given this fenbendazole, which is a dog dewormer. It's designed to get rid of intestinal parasites from dogs. In their research on this dewormer, they found that the dogs with cancer were getting rid of the cancer. And that is pretty amazing. And so I've got a whole stack of pages here of their research and people's testimony who have used this fenbendazole material for getting rid of cancer in their dogs. And now they're starting to do research to use it for humans. So far, it's very promising. And there are instances that people report of getting rid of cancers by ingesting this dog dewormer with no bad side effects from the dewormer. So it's a very interesting situation, and we have to give it some credence because they're getting results. And we're going to have to wait and see what happens long term. But if you're somebody with cancer, I know for myself, if I had cancer and I'm looking at the past history of all of those I know who have died of cancer and what they have gone through with chemotherapy and radiation and all of these things, I would be willing to try this dog dewormer, see what happens. I'm lucky I don't have cancer. I got a lot of other things, but I don't have cancer. So this is something that we need to pay attention to, keep an eye on, and watch it and see if the medical establishment will embrace it or not.
Now, as far as the fenbendazole as the dewormer aspect of it, then this would be a useful vial for somebody who's doing the constant deworming cycles with their pets.
Yes, you bet.
And when they do that, they're just going to have their pets drink the water that has the vial with the plasma energy of the fenbendazole.
Right, because we've broken it all down in our GANs making process, and we have the GANs here on the bottom, and the water is what we use. So the dog's not going to know that he's taken something that might have a disagreeable taste, because all he's getting is water with the plasmatic field of the fenbendazole in it.
Well, and this might be a nice solution for somebody who kind of has to really hassle giving their pet pills.
Right.
Did you ever see much of that?
Oh, yeah.
And even as an experienced practice veterinarian who did that every day of the week, you still had a challenge sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it is a challenge, and sometimes you take a risk of getting bit.
Exactly. And I think that's everything we have in our pet. Let me take a look at my list here real quickly. We already talked about anxiety relief in an earlier video, but that is one of the things that we do have for pets, and it's again in a vial format. Anxiety relief can be used for people and for pets. And you can also use anxiety relief as a spray. You could spray a bandana if it's for your dog and let your dog just wear that bandana all the time. And I did that one time when I was at a friend's house, and there were several of us that had gone over there. Well, I didn't know that her dog gets very agitated when cats are around. And of course, when I came in and he took one sniff of my footwear, and it's like, where's the cat? Where's the cat? And he was just beside himself. And I finally happened to have one of my scarves with me that was treated, and I said, well, let's just put this on him and see what happens. And you know what? He really settled down after that, but he was in a major twit. So, well, thank you so much. I do want to point out that on our website, we have a products page list, and there are all the products that we have for you with the prices. And if you just click on shop, then a little window will pop up that says products. That'll take you to this page so you can see what there are. And I will let you know that we have some preparedness kits, and for people who like to order several items, we put together some packages so that you can package either 8 or 12 vials of your choice and get a discounted price. And I don't care if you take all the most expensive vials to get the very best rate you can. It's okay. I did it that way on purpose, so for families that wanted to order 8 vials or 12 vials, they could do that. The packages come either for the basic plasma energy station with the 8 or 12 vials, or the 8 or 12 vials priced without the plasma energy station. And finally, for families that really want to have a whole preparedness set up for themselves, we do have the plasma energy pantry also priced out for 25 vials. So take a look at our website. We do have a lot of blogs, facts, testimonials. There's a lot of interviews that Paul and I have done, plus links to the many videos that we've done. There's a great video that we got. It was just serendipity. We'd gone out to the Mountain Creek spring to get spring water that Paul uses, and happened to run into someone there who wanted to know why Paul was using the water. And there's a whole discussion that I ended up with on video where Paul is explaining plasma energy standing out by a mountain spring. So look for that. Our channels on YouTube are Plasma Energy Solution, and there's another channel, Lynn Schmaltz.
I think that's about all we have.
Okay.
Thank you very much for taking time to watch this video. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate you giving us a big thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.